I'd like to ask you if you think a strike is likely to happen with the UAW and between General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, Chrysler's parent company.
Sadly, I think we are in line for a strike. I know that General Motors and Ford and Stellantis have made really aggressive counteroffers, $16 to $18 an hour. They started off lower, and Sean Fain, who's in charge of the UAW, said it was insulting. As a matter of fact, on one of the offers from Stellantis, he got on a YouTube Live and threw it in a circular file. So he's looking for a fight. Beyond that, remember that he's the third or fourth UAW president since we had a situation with some legal issues. So when you promise your members that you're going to get them more money, better benefits, and even though they suffered like everyone else did during COVID, they all want more money. And they're talking like $30 an hour. And that's ridiculous. So they've already offered as much as $18 an hour in a counteroffer, removing all the different tiers, offering more vacation and benefits. But when Sean Fain, who's putting his name on the line as the new president, that I'm going to fight for you, he's going to stand his ground. He's not going to win in the end, but you know they're going to strike because he has to strike, because if he doesn't, he loses face, and then his members won't vote him back in.
And I want to bring up the union's demands, which Fain said he's going to keep. So for roughly 150,000 workers, it would be a 46% pay raise, a 32-hour work week for 40 hours of pay, and the restoration of traditional pensions. What do you think about these demands?
That would bury the car manufacturers. You have to remember that when the federal government came in and they said, we're going to mandate these electric vehicles, car manufacturers work almost 10 years in advance. So they made a shift. Then we had the COVID come in and shut them down. They had a chip shortage. We're just getting out of the microchip shortage because they use what's called a legacy chip. It's an older style chip. So we still are just getting product to the dealerships for consumers. We're now showing 24 and 25 model year cars, but they're not getting the production numbers they were, which also means they're forced to make these electric cars of which no manufacturer, not even Tesla, makes a profit on them. Tesla makes his money in a different way. He sells the carbon credits, but for the car manufacturers, they take a loss, and they have to make up that loss with gasoline and hybrid powered cars. This is a major problem. So now you're going to make a bigger loss for the car manufacturers, which they already can't make up with the lack of vehicles that can be produced. And if they can't produce vehicles, that means no sales or a lot less sales. Certainly that means less profits. And they're not going to bring all these people back, because once the UAW said, we're going all electric, they were in on it when President Biden approached them. Now they're realizing what I've been saying all along is electric vehicles are not being taken by the mainstream. People don't want them. And on top of that, that means less employees, and that's UAW employees. So we have a major issue. I do know the car manufacturers are lining up their white collar workers to work on the production line to get product out the door, to have something out the door. And I'm already hearing all kinds of pushback from different people that work there. I'm hearing all kinds of insider information from CEOs, and they're very concerned. This is a major hurt on the car manufacturers. And to give you as the consumer what that means, maybe you don't care, maybe you don't own a car. Well, half of the Dow Jones, half, is impacted by the auto industry. If you think we've got a downturn now, you're going to have a major downturn if car manufacturers can't produce product. That means no jobs, no cash flow, and that will desperately hurt our economy.
How much leverage do the automakers have in this deal?
Well, that's a tough one. The automakers have a little bit of leverage. What they could do is hire scabs, in other words, people that are non-union. They could say, fine, we're not going to produce cars here in Detroit or wherever they're producing that are union states, and move all of their plants to non-union states, or worse, this would be really bad for the economy, move to Mexico, move to Thailand, move to Korea, Vietnam. There's a million places that they can move. And the UAW has to be very careful, because if they push too hard, car companies are already making a lot of their components in other countries, which President Trump brought a lot of it back. But a lot of it was being built in the lower half of the country, which is non-union. It's a right-to-work state. When you go to the unions, they're always going to charge more. And it's difficult because you got a lot of people that have actually worked there their entire lives, and they want a retirement. So you have to understand both sides of this position to know that somewhere there's a happy medium, but one person saying, no, it's either my way or no way, is only a major negative.
Well, thank you for that insight. Lauren Fix, automotive expert from Car Coach Reports.
Thank you.